I went out at 2 a.m. to go get her at a bed and breakfast and got a surprise of a lifetime when I arrived at the hotel. Let's make a long story short. Last year, around this time, my wife and I had a major failure in communication. She ended up getting breast augmentation, when I begged her not to. I loved her the way she was and I'm not a fan of fake breasts. Sue me. This began a major disconnect for us because I was upset. She got upset because I didn't exactly act excited about them and refused to have anything to do with the situation. This time period, around the end of December 2018, is important to remember, but I will get to that later. Back on March 16, 2018. The day of her best friend's wedding. She got hammered. I was sober, and went home annoyed at her rudeness to me in front of everyone there. She yelled "F you." No, F you. Straight in my face when I told her I didn't want to go to a club after the wedding. Yeah, so anyway, I went home and went to bed around 11 p.m. I set an alarm for 2:30 a.m. because I thought she would be coming home puking from the bar at that time. She wasn't there. I found out from a friend that she went back to the bed and breakfast with the wedding party. So, I head over there, which is 10 minutes from my house. I drive up, park, get out of my vehicle and see a guy walking from one balcony to the next and into another hotel room. 10 seconds later my wife walks out the same balcony door that the guy left from and starts yelling at me. I walk up and yell at her a bit, asking who the guy was, etc., and I leave. I go back home and go to bed. Come to find out she screwed this guy before I got there and after I got there and the next morning. She's told me this. She also admitted to having a text/phone relationship with a different guy 2 states away for 2 months, ending the day I caught her in the bed and breakfast. She also admitted to giving several guys her phone number at the beach party for the best friend and kissing 2 guys that night. She also admitted to giving several guys her number before that at random bars/places she's gone with her friends when I wasn't around. This all started around December 27, 2018. She claims she wants to try and work things out. I am willing to do so as well, but I have my reserves. We've tried marriage counseling and I am currently seeing a counselor. As things trigger for me, it's bad and I start fights with her constantly about things. I constantly think about her and the other guys. Especially when we are intimate. I also think there is more stuff out there that I don't know about. Over the last year, she hasn't really done anything to earn my trust back or knock it down further, if that's possible. She's a little nicer but never goes above and beyond to prove she's changed or different. I've given this 10 months and nothing's different from the moment we got back together in April. It's almost like she's acting like it didn't happen. I've never had to deal with this. What's my approach? Obviously, I'm doing this wrong. FYI, we have a 6-year-old together. Married for 2 years, together for 7. Any advice? Ways to approach things better? Help. TL/DR. Found out my wife cheated on me a year ago and we are trying to work it out, but I have my reservations and struggle with everything still to this day. Help. Edit. Thanks for the great advice. Seems in line with most of the stuff I have read on similar threads here. So, I'm still pretty lost. Time will tell, I guess. Me with my wife after 8.5 years, 2 months married, she cheated. Divorce or discuss? Hello everyone. I am currently in a bad situation and I'm not sure if I am really doing the right thing. By the way, this is my first post here, so please excuse me if I'm missing any details, feel free to ask. So let's begin with my current situation. I, 25 male, have been in a relationship for 8.5 years with my wife, 27 female. After I proposed to her during our trip to America in August 2017, we married legally on 4th of June 2018, and in church on 9th of July 2018. We went on our honeymoon, 2 weeks, after the wedding, departure 11th of July 2018. During this time I noticed for the first time that she's always texting on her phone and tries to hide the phone, or shut off the display, when I try to look who she's writing to. When I asked her, She was always texting her friends or sister. This got me suspicious, and with the beginning of our second week I took her phone while she was asleep. First time ever for me. I really trusted her. And that's how I found out that the woman I thought loved me, that I married 1 month prior, was cheating on me with someone else, 39 male. Detail: it's the cook where she works, so they see each other daily during the week. As we still had to stay together for the rest of the week and our flight home, I didn't bring up the argument because I didn't want to fight over it on our honeymoon. I have no idea how I managed that. After further investigation, when we came home, I found out their relationship started at the end of November 2017, so after our engagement, but way prior to our wedding. I have no idea why she didn't bring it up to me, as we had plenty of time to cancel our wedding, and somehow I didn't notice it until it was too late. I didn't discuss this with my wife until now, so she doesn't know that I know, but I think she suspects that I might suspect something. We still have to choose our photos for our wedding album, and we still have to write all the thank you letters for the gifts we received. That's why I didn't discuss this argument until now. But I'm dying inside and I have to do something about this situation. In fact, I'm informing myself if I can kick her out of our house. We rented it together, the contract shows both names, and if our wedding can be legally cancelled or if I have to divorce. Relevant detail: the other guy is separated from his wife and has 2 children in their teens. He is not divorcing her right now as they have some loans to pay back. Also, they constantly talk about how much they love each other and they would like to leave their love on 100%, but they can't right now. As far as I know, the plan is for her to have children with me, as the other guy's already had some, and then, when he's ready, divorced or whatever, they will get together. My point is that I feel guilty for thinking about divorce not more than 2 months after our wedding, as we had a big party and received a lot of gifts, but I can't really go one like this. I don't even know what I'm expecting from you guys. Maybe I need confirmation I'm doing the right thing to leave her and get divorced? Thank you for any advice you would bring up. Best regards. Update, 22nd of August 2018. Discussed the matter with the lawyer in our office who doesn't really know about the matter. Gave me the contact information of someone who should be able to help me. Going to call today/tomorrow and try to meet with her ASAP. I'll keep you guys updated on how this will proceed. In the meantime, thank you all for your support. Update, 23rd of August 2018. I talked to the lawyer, and he has to inform himself if having another relationship is legally enough to call in the annulment of the marriage. In all her years of divorcing people, it's the first time someone calls her so soon after the marriage. She felt terribly bad for me. However, she will inform herself and will let me know in a few days what options I have. I'll let you know when she talks to me. Update, 25th of August 2018. I can call in for annulment within 6 months of the marriage. I therefore have some spare time to talk to the priest if there is a way to annul the wedding in church. Also, this way I can first take my school exams, next 2 weeks, and then discuss all of this, calmly with my wife. The problem being, I have no idea how to begin this discussion with her. Just like, hey, I know you're cheating on me, sounds bad. Update, 11th of September 2018. As described in the previous update, I can legally call for the annulment of the marriage within 6 months. I also discussed with our priest, and apparently he is also able to call in for annulment. But he wanted me to first talk about this with my wife. Of course he wasn't really proponed to call immediately for divorce, and wanted me to let my wife decide if she wants to stay with me or not. But I'm not really sure if I want to let her decide, because I don't think I can ever trust her again. The point is, have no idea how I should begin this discussion with my wife, and I know there's never the perfect moment, but maybe you can give me some advice on that matter? What to say? What not to say? Priest told me I should not talk about her faults. I should talk about how my feelings are hurt and how I feel bad about our marriage because it isn't real. I should not talk about forgiving. I should talk about me offering to help her. I should tell her enough so she knows that I know she's cheating on me, but not too much. Also, probably it is better to meet first my lawyer to get an idea of the next steps, also talking about our house as we are renting it together, contract shows both names, and only then talk with my wife. TL, Dr. Married 2 months ago, Found out during our honeymoon she was cheating on me for almost 9 months. My wife, 38 female, cheated on me, 38 male. I suspected for too long and found proof on November 18th. I started dating my wife in 2000 and we were married in 2005. Our son was born in 2010. 13-year relationship, married for 8, a son that is 3.5 years old. Both of us have lots of families locally and good support bases for babysitting. Divorce would require the sale of our house and the relocation of her parents, that rent a second house from us. I would retain that house and my wife would sell the one we live in. These issues were discussed and, on a macro level, were agreed to a few weeks back. For the past year or so I've suspected that my wife was having an emotional affair with one of her colleagues. I asked her about it many times, every few days toward the end, and even asked her if she had slept with him. Everything was denied. She claimed he was a friend and even showed me pictures of him and his family, told me where he worked, same industry, different company, and filled me in on some of their conversations. She was so lighthearted about it that I even started calling this guy her boyfriend. On November 17th, we had dinner with her parents and he got brought up in the most casual of ways. My wife hesitated just 5 seconds longer than normal in her reaction to her parents, and I knew that something was up. The next morning I took our family laptop and checked her iPhone backups for evidence. Turns out she had been sexting with him since early September and had been having a full-blown sexual affair with him since early October. I confronted her about it and she came clean, admitting to everything including a one-night stand with the guy back in February of 2013 at a work conference. So, in a nutshell, one-night stand in February 2013, sexting in September 2013, and a dozen or so sexual encounters in October/November of 2013. The last bit included a 3-day honeymoon, his words, during a work conference in October. They had specific plans to continue this through February 2014 until the same conference that they met at a year before. They both had agreed, in writing, before I discovered them, that they would end it after that. I had my wife get STD tests, all clear, and she will follow up in 6 months. She and I were sleeping together during the affair and have continued to do so after. The other guy? 42, fairly successful, married with 3 kids, lives in the same town as us. I've run into him already once when shopping. Point, we live nearby and will contend with running into each other from time to time. His wife, 42, who doesn't work, doesn't know about the affair. My wife seemed to indicate that his wife would likely go ballistic and take him to the cleaners if she found out. My wife and I are in therapy, couples and individual, and we are still working to see if we want to stay together. At this point, she is 50-50 and I'm 25-75 or 75-25 depending on the day. We are very civil with each other and I believe that there is still mutual love between us. As you would imagine, there is also a great deal of pain, mistrust, tension, resentment, and a host of other emotions. I think that the relationship is salvageable if we are both willing to put in a ton of work. An issue is, I'm not sure that either of us can stomach the process for months and months or longer. We've discussed some of the reasons she did what she did, including some mutual faults in our relationship. We are working on those and I expect it to take a long time. In the meantime, I'm struggling with a few issues. I have a strong desire to tell his wife. I think it would be morally right and I'd feel some sense of righteousness in fixing that wrong. Consider it my way of getting back at him. The problem is that doing so may cause blowback on his career as well as my wife's. Thus, it could have blowback on me. I'm 99.9% sure I can't tell the wife, but I can't help but fantasize ways to tip her off while maintaining culpable deniability. If my wife and I do split up, I am currently vengeful enough that I'm 99.9% sure that I'm adding him to his wife. Note aforementioned cleaner's comment. Trust. I trust that my wife isn't sleeping or even communicating with this guy anymore. I have a good amount of proof that she is on the up and up, not to mention that I still have the iPhone backups, complete with mutually damning photos and texts. If I were to catch them again at something, then it would be game over. The guy has a lot to lose should I go public. Having said that, My wife did sneak around with impunity for a few months, so I have some basic issues of who the hell is this person that I'm married to. Basically, I assume everything she says is a lie until I can reasonably verify it through independent research. How have other people learned to trust again? My child. At 3.5 he is very young and won't likely remember much of mommy and daddy as a couple if she and I were to split up now. In a year that won't be the case. Right now he's pretty oblivious to our issues as, for the most part, we've kept calm when he is in the house. I'm sure, however, that he can sense the tension between us. I know for a fact that both she and I are likely more short with him. Has anyone else in the group been in similar situations with similar aged children? How did you handle things and how did it work out for your kids? Who to confide in? She has told her parents, sister, and a close friend. I have told the same plus a few out-of-town friends. In a nutshell, we've largely hidden this from local friends, co-workers, etc. Of course there is a part of me that wants to stand on a metaphorical mountaintop and let everyone know. Realistically, however, if we do work through this, I'm not sure I want that ghost to forever follow us in a public setting. Lastly, any other tips, questions, comments, etc.? I'm sure I missed some stuff.